So it's been a minute since I've made one of these videos, and I was just here working out on my own, and I had some thoughts because I had been training with some folks not too long ago, and I observed some things, and I thought, well, let's maybe take what I observed and try to boil it down, break it down into some concepts, mainly stances. I'm going to talk about stances a little bit just for maybe 4 minutes. I'll try and keep this 4 minutes. We'll see. I can't keep anything to 4 minutes. But anyway, so I was out training in some, especially younger students, but sometimes it graduates on up and gets propagated up to more senior ranks. Excuse me. I am in Okinawa. It is August and it is blazing hot. Of course, the dojo doesn't have air conditioning. And I had a fan going just to move some air around, but it's so loud that I thought that would be distraction in the video. So forgive me. Anyway, okay, 4.5 minutes now. But as I was looking at these stances, I thought, sometimes we're doing like unnatural things in our stances, and they're kind of not, one, they're not biomechanically correct, so they're not safe. And two, since they're not biomechanically correct, they don't give us the best opportunity to recruit the potential energy in our bodies, because ultimately the way we're standing, whether it's a dynamic stance or we're moving to and through stances, but how we stand dictates how we carry our body and move our body through time and space and all that stuff. Really, ultimately, is what generates power in its simplest form, right? So I'm going to start out just by explaining just a couple of principles. One, it needs to be biomechanically square. Now, when we stand up in the natural world, we stand generally with our feet on the bottom, on the ground. Our ankles are above our feet. Our knees are above our ankles. Our hips then sit on top of that platform, right? Although our hips can swivel, they can rotate, we can lean. But generally, even if we lean, our hips stay over the center of gravity so we don't fall. So that's kind of a physics, a truth of physics, right? And then the last thing is that our shoulders generally sit on top of our hips. So if karate is generally natural, and we say it's natural, and I know some of you, like the third day of class, and you're thinking there's nothing natural about this. But if karate follows what's natural, then those things would be the case. So, Naihanchi Shodan, let's talk about that. This is short Indu, Hanchibanas, folks. But generally we say, point your toes in, and then your knees come in. And what that ends up looking like is something along the lines of this. I see a lot of this. People with their knees caved to the inside, feet not even on the ground, right? And what that means is they're kind of hunched over like this, and it's not efficient. It's not safe on your joints. It's not natural, and it's not efficient. So I think generally we get confused because when we say point your toes in, I see this as if I took the outside of my foot and lined it up on the slats on this floor, and then I did the same with the other foot so that the outside edge of my foot is pointing straight ahead. I generally feel like I'm pigeon-toed. It comes out about like this. And so I have this pigeon-toed kind of feeling, okay? Now, if I say bend then my knees in over my toes, but I'm pigeon-toed like this, then I end up in this kind of stance. But if I rotate my feet outside to where they're pointing straight ahead, the way they're built to point, and then I bend my knees down over my toes, then as I tense a little bit up in here and create a little bit of pull in my hips and in here and in the inside of my thighs, then I end up with a pretty natural stance. I'm just here. I'm here, only I've rooted myself a little bit, but the principles of alignment remain the same. Now I can still move. I still have the ability to move without losing my structure, okay? So, as you're doing Naihanchi, I would ask you, take a look, see if your alignment is correct. your feet should be on the bottom, your ankles, your knees should be over your ankles, your hips should be centered over your feet, and then your shoulders should be centered over your hips. And you can apply this to any stance. I'm gonna take 30 seconds and go through them. Naihanchi, look at the principles, okay? Not here, here, okay? Nekwashidachi, here. Not here, because now I don't have alignment, but here. Aligned here, aligned here. When I stand naturally like this is how I am, right? If I cock my foot on my body over one foot, I stand like this a lot. And then I drop that down, but my hips come down, not shoveled in. Shikodachi. Here. Okay? My feet are under me. My ankles are over my feet. My knees are pushed out over my ankles. Hips are in, shoulders are on top. Okay? That alignment stays true for all of our stances. Even if we drop down like in a Goju Shiho, the same principle applies. Okay? If I get up from a Neko Ashidachi and I twist it, the same principle applies. Okay? If I step out into a Zenkutsu Dachi, the same principle applies. That's my thought of the day. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. See if it makes sense. Work on it. It's a more natural way, but it probably won't feel as natural as maybe the way you think, but give it a shot.